United States Naval Forces Europe. Naval Forces Africa is the United States Navy component commander of the United States European Command and United States Africa Command. NAVEUR-NAVAF provides overall command, operational control, and coordination of U.S. naval forces in the European and African Command Area of Responsibility. As the Navy component in Europe, COMUSNAVEUR plans, conducts, and supports naval operations in the European theater during peacetime contingencies, in general war, and is tasked by Commander U.S. European Command. As the component command in Africa, NAVAF aims for cooperative solutions to security challenges in Africa and its surrounding waters by closely working with its Europe, African, and South American partners to disrupt terrorist networks, deter illicit trafficking, and defeat piracy and maritime crime. With its headquarters now at Naval Support Activity Naples, Italy, NAVEUR-NAVAF directs all its naval operations through Commander, United States 6th Fleet co-located in Naples, Italy, and support activities ashore through Commander, Navy Region Europe, Africa, and Southwest Asia, also headquartered in Naples, Italy. Naval Forces Europe. Naval Forces Africa is commanded by Admiral Michelle Howard, who also serves as NATO's commander, Allied Joint Force Command Naples. Her deputy commander, currently Vice Admiral James Foggard, serves as the 6th Fleet commander. History. The earliest presence of U.S. Navy forces in Europe was the Mediterranean Squadron, the European Squadron following the American Civil War. The forces were combined as part of the North Atlantic Fleet in 1906. In 1917, United States Naval Forces operating in European waters was established for the duration of World War I. Following the cessation of hostilities and the Allied occupation of Turkey, Rear Admiral Mark L. Bristol was sent to Istanbul as senior naval officer, Turkey, commanding the U.S. Naval Detachment in Turkish waters. Bristol arrived in Istanbul on 28 January 1919 and raised his flag on a Scorpion. In August 1919, Bristol also received the diplomatic appointment of U.S. High Commissioner responsible to the State Department for diplomatic matters in Turkey. In his naval capacity, Bristol was responsible to Commander U.S. Naval Forces, European waters. In May 1920, Pittsburgh, flagship of Vice Admiral Harry S. Knapp, Commander U.S. Naval Forces, European waters, accompanied by Gold, evacuated a number of American naval and relief personnel from the Caucasus. Pittsburgh became flagship for two of the Commander-in-Chief's U.S. Naval Forces European waters, Admiral Philip Andrews in 1924-1925 and Vice Admiral Roger Wells in 1925-1926. At some point after 1926, Naval Forces European waters went into abeyance. Later, in March 1942, the duties of the existing Special Naval Observer London were expanded to Command Naval Forces. Commander, Naval Forces Europe was established to maintain Navy bases in the United Kingdom and to report intelligence and research data being provided by Allied intelligence organizations. Numerous liaison channels were opened with the British government and with governments in exile. The command also assisted in the planning and preparation of the invasions of North Africa and France. By 1944, the headquarters had been established at 20 Grosvenor Square in central London. The building was only vacated by the Navy when the headquarters moved to Italy in 2009. When Admiral Harold R. Stark became COMNAVEUR in April 1942. He was given the additional duties as Commander, United States 12th Fleet. The fleet, which operated in European waters, consisted of 1 battleship, 2 cruisers, an aircraft carrier and 6 destroyers. By autumn of 1945, the chief function of the U.S. Navy in the occupied countries was completed. Enemy naval forces had been disarmed, war material had been located and accounted for, and harbors had been reopened and were in operation. As operational emphasis changed and the geographical area expanded, the command's title was changed to more specifically define the Navy's role. In November 1946, COMNAVEUR became COMEDLM, and 6 months later, in April 1947, the title was changed, this time to Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Naval Forces, Eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean. A Northern European force of 5 to 6 ships were active from 1946 to 1956. Admiral Robert B. Carney became CINCNELM in December 1950. In June 1951, he assumed additional duty as Commander-in-Chief, Allied Forces Southern Europe, and the CINCNELM headquarters was moved from London to Naples. In June 1952, the two commands were separated. CINCNELM headquarters returned to London and Admiral Gero Wright became CINCNELM and Admiral Carney remained in Naples as CINCSOUTH. In September 1958, Admiral James L. Holloway, Jr., CINCNELM, was assigned additional duty as U.S. Commander Eastern Atlantic, under the Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Atlantic Fleet. U.S.COMUSNAVEUR provided intelligence and logistics support for LANTFLT units deployed in the U.S.COMUSNAVEUR area. In February 1960, the title of the command was changed to Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Naval Forces Europe, and the CINCNELM title was retained for command in the Middle East from Turkey and Egypt to the middle of the Indian Ocean. Although these were separate commands, they were placed under the control of one commander. The CINCNELM command was disestablished on 1 February 1964. During most of the intervening years, CINCUSNAVEUR has exercised direct command over 4 subordinate commanders: Commander, U.S. 6th Fleet, Commander, Fleet Air Mediterranean, Commander, Middle East Force, and Commander, U.S. Naval Activities, United Kingdom. Because of the increased sensitivity of the Persian Gulf area, COMIDEASDFOR was assigned to the administrative command of COMUSNAVCENT on 1 October 1983. CINCSOUTH and CINCUSNAVEUR again shared an admiral when Admiral William J. Crowe, Jr., who was CINCSOUTH, also took the title of CINCUSNAVEUR on 1 January 1983. Admiral Crowe retained his NATO commandant headquarters in Naples, Italy. Vice Admiral Ronald J. Hayes, in London, became Deputy CINCUSNAVEUR and retained the title of USCOMUSDLANT. The CINCUSNAVEUR headquarters remained in London, with Admiral Crowe spending time at both locations. The responsibility of U.S. Commander Eastern Atlantic was added to that of the Commander-in-Chief, Allied Forces Southern Europe, and Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Naval Forces Europe on 28 February 1989 during Admiral James Buchanan Busey IV's assignment as Commander-in-Chief. Post-Cold War, in September 1996 it was agreed that U.S.NAVEUR could support COMUSNAVEUR forces without the U.S. COMUSNAVEUR designation. In 1999, changes to COMUSNAVEUR's area of responsibility were announced, after amendments to the Unified Command Plan. The United States Atlantic Command areas that had included the waters off Europe and the west coast of Africa were to be transferred to European Command. U.S. European Command already had responsibility for all U.S. land and air military planning in Europe and most of Africa. The change gave EUCOM and NAVEUR the responsibility for maritime planning in the same general area of operations. The changes were made effective on October 1, 2000. The Atlantic Command areas that presently include the waters off Europe and the west coast of Africa were also transferred to European Command. In 2002, the command changed its name to Commander, U.S.Naval Forces Europe. On 15 March 2004, NATO's Joint Force Command Naples was activated and its predecessor command, Allied Forces Southern Europe, was deactivated. COMUSNAVEUR continues to be dual-hatted as COMJFC Naples. In August 2005, COMUSNAVEUR headquarters completed its relocation to Naples, Italy from London in the United Kingdom. By a directive of 20 September 2005, Naval Forces Europe and 6th Fleet were merged. NAVEUR is now co-located with his NATO headquarters. U.S. naval activities, United Kingdom, was deactivated in September 2007. U.S.NAVEUR is now focusing more attention on Africa, specifically the Gulf of Guinea region, partially because of the increasing importance of the oil reserves there. Ships are now often deploying to aid regional African navies, of which the most important in the region is the Nigerian Navy. Connected with this effort, a new Geographic Combatant Command, United States Africa Command, is being stood up and is scheduled for completion in September 2008, which may mean a realignment of USN responsibilities for the West African area. As a result, NAVEUR is now sometimes referred to as U.S. Naval Forces Europe, Africa, and even NAVAF. There is currently, however, no approved plan to establish a separate Naval Forces Africa HQ. Two new task groups are active: Commander Task Group 60.4, which runs the Africa Partnership Station Deployment Series, and Commander Task Group 60.5, the Southeast Africa Task Group. The Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Europe Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Africa area of responsibility covers approximately half of the Atlantic Ocean, for the North Pole to Antarctica, as well as the Adriatic, Baltic, Barents, Black, Caspian, Mediterranean and North Seas. NAVEUR-NAVAF covers all of Russia, Europe and nearly the entire continent of Africa. It encompasses 105 countries with a combined population of more than 1 billion people and includes a land mass extending more than 14 million square miles. The AOR covers more than 20 million square nautical miles of ocean, touches 3 continents and encompasses more than 67% of the Earth's coastline, 30% of its land mass, and nearly 40% of the world's population. Commanders for the Navy, flag officer tours are usually limited to 2 years.